Hi everyone, it's my pleasure and honor to be here with Dr. Deepak Chopra in his Chopra Center in Carlsbad, California. We will be talking about different interesting things, about being on the road, about collective consciousness, and if time permits, maybe about riding motorcycles and some other interesting things. So, Deepak, thank you for taking the time to talk.
Nice to see you. I'm glad you made it.
So, I want to ask you first about going on the road. And one of the questions I've been getting recently is it necessary? And how important it is to physically go someplace else in order to isolate yourself from your daily life and go through some reflection and life transformation. And I know you've recently, you went out on a 3-week trip to Thailand. So I wanted to get your take on it and maybe hear about your experience also in Thailand.
Yeah, well, I'm on the road a lot, and that's a very different experience than the one I had in Thailand, so I can talk about the two different experiences. Thailand, I went just to get ordained as a monk, as a Buddhist monk, because I had been curious about it for almost 20 years. You know, you have these romantic ideas of giving up everything and disappearing into anonymity.
Yes.
And seeing what that experience is. So I've done that in different ways and forms. I've been to India at the ashram of Sri Ramana Maharishi in Arunachalam, where on his 100th birth anniversary, we circumnavigated a mountain, and there were 1 million of us.
Wow.
In silence. And within 2-3 hours, you become part of the ocean of humanity, like a drop in an ocean of water.
Yes.
And there is totally no sense of individuality, you're just all of it. And it's a very exhilarating experience. So I do these experiments just to see if I can detach from my ego personality. So that was part of the reason to go to Thailand. I went through the ordainment and I went live the life. So we slept on the floor. There was no mattress. There was no bed clothing. There was no pillows. A few mosquitoes. We had to go on what's called the alms round, which is carry a begging bowl.
Yes.
Through the streets of a village and bring home whatever was given to us. You could never ask for anything, you only accepted what was graciously given. We had 1 meal a day, we stayed in silence, and from 2 in the morning to 6 in the morning we meditated on first the idea of impermanence, then our own physical death. So we did visual techniques, visualizing the death of the body and the cremation and ultimately the death of the mind. So it was very valuable. I got to experience the present moment as never before. And when I left, the abbot said to me, you know, all your spiritual learning is useless if it doesn't change your life.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it says all the academic knowledge is useless if it doesn't change your life. He said, I can give you one advice, which probably is the totality of our philosophy here. The most important time in your life is now. The most important person in your life is the one you're with now. And the most important activity in your life is what you're doing now. And the rest is all theory.
You talked about ego and humility.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk a little bit about the relationship between that, which is maybe to some degree a psychological concept. It's a pretty clear concept maybe of ego and self-importance versus humility and modesty, but how it ties to the broader concept of collective consciousness, which is more difficult to grasp. For most people, there is no such thing as collective consciousness. There's a very strong sense of individuality. Can you talk a little bit about that?
The individual doesn't really exist. I mean, it's a hallucination. There's no such thing as a person. That is a total hallucination. Every word you utter, every sentence you speak, every idea you have is not your own, unless you have the most creative original idea like the theory of relativity or you have a breakthrough in quantum physics. Now, even those ideas, by the way, are already part of the collective consciousness. They're seeping into the they're gestating in the collective consciousness, and they suddenly are born, or they deliver through a particular nervous system. But in the end, there is only the universal recycling itself as the personal. So everything you call me is actually the recycling of the universe. Your body is recycling of the earth, water and air. You're part of the single energy field that's everywhere. Otherwise, how would you send email or surf the information highway on the internet?
Yes.
So you're part of the energy field, and the energy that is your body is not different from the energy field that is the universe. All your thoughts are recycled information, and even your breath is recycled atmosphere.
Yes.
So and your thoughts are recycled ideas. So where is you? There's no you. It's just an impermanent flux of the universe.
Well, one final question about midlife. Out of the different things you've studied, I'm sure this is something you have a take on, and it is the heart of my project. This is the life stage I am in, and in a way, that passage to a new life stage is what sparks kind of my interest to go out and do something.
This is one question I can't answer, Ran, because I haven't gotten there yet.
Ah.
When I get to midlife, I'll be able to answer your question.
All right.
So, I can't answer
that's a
that
great
question.
answer. I love that.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, it was great. Have a nice adventure. What's left of it?
Thank you.